Hello and welcome to a gluten, sugar, dairy-free presentation as part of our health talks. And today we're going to be talking about mindset for success. Now you might be thinking, well, you're a foodie page. Why are we talking mindset for success? Because in order to have success in our body, we need mind, body, spirit. So today we're going to be talking about that. If we haven't met, my name is Michelle DeBerge. I'm a foodie and chef, a motivational speaker, a best-selling author, a founder of Gluten Dairy Sugar Free. I'm a professionally trained life and wellness coach, and I've been a coach for over 25 years, so we've got some great tools. I'm not alone today. I'm very excited to have my special guest and dear friend and business partner, Delynn Tadero, with me. Hello, Delynn.
Hello, I'm glad to be here too.
I am so glad you're here. The universe actually delivered us. I know that sounds woo-woo, whatever your faith was. We were introduced by a common acquaintance, not even a friend, an acquaintance, and hit it off. And her husband and I ended up partnering up in a company called M-Stix, which is a nutritional product we'll talk about a little bit later. And then every time we'd have a meeting, her husband and I were talking about food, and he's a chef. So he and I just wrote our first cookbook, and we put on events here live in Las Vegas. And the more we worked together, we realized we shared so much in common around mindset, around setting intentions, around how to manifest what we desired. And so we thought, why don't we come together and teach a course about it together?
Absolutely.
So I have taught manifestation for years. In fact, I have a 90-day course I've been teaching, and a rating of 85% actually getting their goals by the end. But there's a lot to it, and it's not magic. So today, what we're going to be learning is we're going to be talking about the power of thoughts, the power of gratitude, how to actually manifest and create what you desire in your life, the different tools and techniques that are out there to use, and ways to stay motivated. We're going to go over a bunch of different tools, and they are all fabulous tools on their own, but they're also great together. But it's not magic, and it takes hard work. So Delynn and I and her husband Bill, we set an intention of where we wanted to be by the end of 2017. Now that we set that, do we just sit back and say, hey, here it comes, right, Delynn?
That's what some people think you do, but no.
No, we have to do the work. So we're going to start with what I think is one of the most powerful things, and Buddha has said it, many, many wise teachers have said it. All that we are is a result of our thoughts. I want you to think of something. Think about when man was just evolving and they were living in the cave. In fact, you can remember Plato's story of the cave and the light on the wall, and how they would see the world through that light of the wall before actually exiting the cave. But let's think about when they were in that cave and they were starting to think and create language. Now, language didn't exist. They made it up, and they created meaning behind the words. So then their words that they started creating meaning, they started creating thoughts, and things actually started to change. Does that make sense?
Not only does it make sense, but then they created like those pictures. So they put the meaning and the picture to create the word.
A really good point. I didn't think about that one. Absolutely. All the cave drawings. So it started with thought, and it still goes with thought. Let's make it really simple. You're driving to work. You're running late. You spill your coffee, and you tell yourself, I'm going to have a bad day. Guess what?
You're going to have a bad day.
Exactly. You are. Okay, so let's start with gratitude and manifestation. Quick story. I have this amazing mentors, Rich and Yvonne Dutra St. John. They're the founders of Challenge Day. They've been on Oprah numerous times. They've won Emmy Awards for their work. And they work in schools bringing kids together by breaking down social boundaries. And they also work with adults. And I had gone through a horrible life experience that had me injured, returning from death, and laying in my bed, not able to move. And she called me and she said, "Guess what, Michelle? You created this." And guess what I said? I'm not going to tell you. You can make it up. Okay? So I hung up on her, and she called the next day, and she said, "Guess what, Michelle? You created this." And I said, "Why are you doing this to me?" Because I
Yep.
was being a victim. I had a big V on this. "Why are you doing this to me? Why is the world doing this? Why this happened to me? It's not fair. I can't move. I hurt. It's not." And she said, "Listen, do you want to change it?" And I said, "Well, yeah."
Mhm.
Yeah. And she said, "Then I want you to start with gratitude. I want you to wake up every morning and think of 5 things you're grateful for, but the catch is they have to be different every day." Well, let me tell you, I was not in a place of gratitude at all. I was in a place of victim. So I'm all fine, whatever. I'm grateful for my pillow and my cat and my blanket. Well, by day 3, I was grateful for the doorknob and my toothbrush. You see, I couldn't really see it. Then I kept it up, and she kept me accountable. She would check in. "Did you do your gratitudes? What were they today? Write them down." Pretty soon, I broke through and realized that the more gratitude I had, the more abundance I had. And all of a sudden, I had friends helping me, my heart healing, my body healing. And I still, to this day, do gratitude no matter what. It creates it. And gratitude is thoughts. I wrote miracles on this, and I'll tell you what my definition is. A miracle to me is something unexpected that brings me joy, touches my heart, or improves my life. I was driving to work one day. It was literally 9 minutes from the front door of my house to the hospital where I worked as a caseworker for mentally ill offenders, and it would take me 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And it was gloomy and rainy, and I was miserable, and I was struggling, and I looked, and the rock wall had this one purple flower growing out of it. And I thought, I remember when they built the wall, because the mountain every rainy season would fall onto the freeway and shut down the freeway, so they built the wall. And then in the wall was this purple flower. And in that moment, I realized I am going to start to look for small miracles every single day. The more that you notice them, the more that they come. And
That's right.
I call them joy points. So do you do that too, Dylan? Do you look for miracles?
I do. I do. I treat everything as though it's, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't ever have a bad day or a bad moment, because that would not be the truth. However, I try to take every moment and think of it positively, and I do that too. I look for miracles, and they're just, it's anything. It's the butterfly that flew by me this morning when I was in the pool, things like that.
I think that's so important. And that brings us to the next one on the list, being present. Now,
Mm.
that's not like in school when they call your name. It's actually being aware of being in your body and noticing your actions, your thoughts, and your environment. When you're not present, have you ever, I'm sure you've done this, Dylan, have you ever gotten in the car to drive to the grocery store, and you get to the grocery store and you don't remember the drive?
Oh yeah, because it's becomes so automatic. You're just like, wow, I can't even believe I got here. You know?
Yeah, and so you were actually thinking about something else, but you weren't present.
Right. And in our society today, I think that actually should, I don't want to say be at the top of the list, because gratitude is definitely the one that needs to be first. But there are so many people who are not fully present.
A good example of that is when you're having a conversation with someone, if you're thinking of your answer before they finish, you're not listening. You're not being
That's right.
present. And you can tell when that happens, when people overtalk. And I am going to be honest, I am an overtalker, and I have to watch it because I get so excited. I get so excited. But I have to remember, listen, you don't know really what they're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our next one is self-talk. That's the critters in our head that tell us you can't do this. Why do you think you're doing that? Oh, you're so fat. Oh, don't go out the door. Oh, you shouldn't do it. We all have them. Do you have some?
I do. I do. A lot of times they're things that we grew up with, maybe, and learning to get rid of them.
Exactly. Positive thought. Now, I'm not saying you have to be Pollyanna, but Having positive thought creates more of that. So, for example, I just walked outside to take my trash out, and it was a little hotter than I expected, but yet cooler than the norm. And I started to feel the weather and go negative, and I went, oh, wait a minute. Boy, am I grateful that it's not as hot as it was the other day. Look at this. So positive thought is really important, and you can catch yourself. The
I
more
have a good one.
Okay.
I have a good one. Okay, so we went to try and get the glasses for the solar eclipse yesterday, and this was on Friday, and we thought that we had given ourselves plenty of time because they opened at 8 and we got there at 8:15. We didn't get glasses, which was actually okay yesterday considering our weather, but as we were walking away, this lady behind me said to her son, I'm going to call your dad now and tell him how he just wasted 2 hours of my life. And
Wow.
I turned around to her and I said, well, first of all, you're the one here, so he didn't waste 2 hours of your life. And secondly, do you think that's a positive way to speak to your child? Because I was like, can you find something positive about this experience? Didn't you just spend 2 hours with your child?
That is a really, really good example. Very good example. Which brings us to negative thinking, which obviously that woman she didn't want to be there.
Yes.
She didn't want to do that. Of course it didn't work out, and it's someone else's fault. And I'm going to make everybody around me feel bad about it.
That's right.
Delynn and I have a practice that's similar. We on a regular basis, actually quarterly, go through our friend list. And I know this sounds really weird if you haven't done this, and see who I still want to stay in touch with. Because we change. People change. So I make sure to remove the ones that are stuck in negativity. I don't want negative around me. I want positive. I want people that are growing, that change. One of my things that I do is an hour of education every day. They have shown studies that the most successful people, the top CEOs, read a book a week and do an hour of education a day, always using your mind. But if you are thinking negatively, you're going to be stuck, like in the mud.
And that's so true. I mean, nothing positive can come to you when all you're doing is putting out negative energy.
So we're also going to talk about healing your body. Now, if we know, and studies have shown, that emotion can actually lead to sickness. Now, I'm not a doctor, but you can read the studies, and they have shown that a lot of negative energy can actually affect and be a probable cause of things like cancer.
That's true.
Imagine healing your body by living healthy mind, body, and spirit. We're going to talk about intentions. That means things that you are setting, that you want to create, that you want in your life, because you need to know what you want in order to get it. We're going to talk about vibrational energy. Yes, that's a woo-woo word. Yes, I lived in Northern California for most of my life, and I love to be barefoot, but vibration energy is real, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about joy. So let's get this started. This is a big class, and we're going to cruise through it. First of all, in your download section, please wait to download till the end of the class. You're getting a 7-day journal. We teach a 90-day manifestation course. I've actually taught it for over 20 years. And this is just 7 days of it. So I'm giving you that. We're also we gave you a PDF of 7 healthy meals for you, and a complete set of resources of the things that we're going to go through today. So the definition of gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and return kindness. Gratitude. I start my day every day with gratitude, even for my body. And my body is not completely healthy. It's overweight. My back hurts. My sides of my breasts hurt. I know, maybe a little too much information, but it hurts to wear a bra. It hurts for me to walk sometimes. So one thing I do in the morning is I pat my body and I thank my body, because without my body, my spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, couldn't get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be stuck. So what if my legs are fat or my butt is big? So I'm grateful that my body gets me around. So gratitude is not just in things, but your body, your thoughts, your friends, your people. If you ever saw The Secret, one of the things they said is gratitude is a powerful process for shifting your energy and bringing more of what you want in your life. Be grateful for what you already have, and you'll attract more things. So it's easy to say, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough friends, I've worked so hard at this job and they never promote me. Or I've worked so long at this job and I am so grateful for this job and I'm grateful for what I'm going to be able to create in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Would be nice.
Yeah, even if you're in a situation that you're not exactly happy about, whatever that looks like, if you're looking at what it can bring to you in the future or how to, look at whatever is positive in that situation at that moment, that's gratitude.
Absolutely. Good gratitude allows celebration of the present. Exactly what Dylan was just saying.
Yeah.
So just stop. When you get a negative thought, I tell my clients, just stop, put your hand on your heart, take a breath, close your eyes. Okay, what can you be grateful for right now, this second, in this moment? Gratitude blocks toxic emotions like envy, resentment, regret, depression. When you're in gratitude, it's hard to be depressed. We also say if you're being of service to someone or something, it's hard to be depressed. The two emotions cannot coexist in the body. Grateful people are more stress resilient. We all have stress. I feel stress. You've got stress, yes?
Yes.
Yes, but we can handle more stress than people who don't practice gratitude.
That's right.
It's sort of like our superhero lingerie we put on, let's say, underneath our clothes. Gratitude strengthens social ties and self-worth. Don't you want to be around a person who's grateful, or do you want to be around the person who's negative? One of the things I loved when I met Dylan was within minutes of our conversation, I didn't know her. She was a stranger. A complete stranger to me. And within moments, she expressed so much gratitude about everything that I thought, holy Toledo, I wanted to be around that.
Well, you think about when somebody, think about a social gathering that you've been at and the person that walks in the room that, like everyone's attracted to. Well, do you think they're attracted to them because they walk in going, oh, poor me? Or do they walk in because they've got this, excitement about them? Well, you can't be excited and not doing well at the same time. You know what I mean?
Totally do. So I love this meme I found, but thoughts, life, create, think, universe, manifest, attract, desires, it's all connected together. And it's all about perspective. I'm going to go through the 4 memes that are my favorite. So on the left-hand side, here's the victim with they don't have a V, but they pretend they have a giant V on their head. Why do bad things always happen to me? And how about the person in the water? I can never get what I want. It's not fair. And of course, we remember Eeyore. It's okay. I didn't need my tail anyway. It's raining on me. It doesn't really matter. And then, of course, what it says there, could be worse. Not sure how, but it could be. Perspective. Whether you see the glass as half empty or half full, it's describing yourself and your perspective. Here's an interesting perspective. A ship is going from one continent to another. It's blown off course by 10 degrees. It ends up in a completely different place. Just 10 degrees. That's teeny, teeny, tiny.
Yep.
So perspective, how you look at things. And what I do, and it's part of my practice with my accountability buddies, and I actually do it with Dylan a lot, is I'll call and say, hey, I'm looking at this situation, and this is my perspective. Can you take a look at it and give me your perspective? And you'll look at it, and there might be just a slight thing I completely missed, which will shift the whole thing. It's amazing, right?
Right. That's why it's good to have an accountability partner, too.
It really is, and it's also great because we can get stuck in our stuff. So
Yeah.
easy, very, very easy. But one little change. Um, we were going to an event on Sunday, and I know this is supposed to be timeless, and I apologize for that, but we were going to an event, and we were going to show our cookbooks and the products that we use at this event, and I got overwhelmed staying up late doing stuff for the new cookbook, and I said, could I bow out and just you guys do it? Absolutely. We're a great team. We'll bring all the books. Your cookbooks, we'll sell your cookbooks for you. Okay? And then we checked in, and they didn't have many people, and it was different than expected. And so then we had our catch-up call that we do, and Delynn had a spin on the perspective. Instead of saying almost nobody showed up, the guy who ran it was a joker. They made so much noise with all these models and people singing, which made no sense since it was a small business thing, that we couldn't hear ourselves think. That was the reality. But what did she told me? I met these amazing 5 people that I can really help, that I connected with, and I'm so excited to follow up with them.
That's right.
We had people that were excited about the cookbook and talked to us. She could have come home and said, oh my God, I wasted an entire day with a joker. But instead, she said, I'm going to call these 5 people. And that's exactly what she did. Perspective. The point when I saw what was going on is I was in the place, honestly, going, oh God, I can't believe they had to spend their day there. I feel so guilty. Why didn't I go with them? Oh my God. And then as soon as she changed the perspective, boom. This is something you can do.
That's right.
Critters. I remember my first workshop learning about critters because I didn't know anything about them. My mentor calls them very bad roommates. My other mentor calls them unwanted squatters. I had a teacher once tell me it was KF, you know, that bad word, radio station. The critters are the noise in our head that we allow to control us subconsciously and consciously that tell us we're not good enough, we can't do it, and it doesn't work. Guess what? If you listen to them, you're going to believe them. And remember what I said in the very beginning about language? It's all made up. Our brain actually makes stuff up, and we believe it. You get to choose what you believe. So that's how people's perceptions and memories are different, because 2 people can see the same car accident and completely have a different part of it, because we make up different things in the midst as we're watching things or as we're doing things. How do you deal with your critters, Delynn?
Well, I have also called them the voices that go on in your head, so that's another way that I think of it. Well, I used to listen to them, and I would think less of myself, or you know, not feel that I was worthy of whatever it is I was going for at the time. But now I don't know. I just get rid of them real quickly. I don't even know what I necessarily. I just do self-talk, I think, is the best way to describe what I do. I just tell myself, you know, what do you mean you're not worthy of this, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a very good exercise. Once you become aware of them, you can actually say thank you, but no thank you. That's not my belief. This is.
Right.
Another way to do it, I actually created a program using MindPT, which is the science, and I wrote a program called Overcoming Your Inner Critic, and it's really amazing. It's got 200 messages mixed with beautiful pictures and music that actually helps retrain your brain. Oh, this was such a big project, but I'm so honored to be among some of the top coaches in the world. I'm not joking, in the world, who had the opportunity to do it. The Mind Power, and I'm going to give you a link to it too, the Mind Power video session helps you release from the negative thoughts and worries. When you begin to manage your inner critic and turn into your inner support system, the chains that keep you back actually release. The session will help you feel stronger and more sure of yourself. The first time you watch it at a slower speed, and it's 15 minutes. Then you can literally watch it at a fast speed and just do 5 minutes a day. It's amazing. It's powered by neuroscience and positive psychology. When you listen to the session and you watch the images, Your mind absorbs the powerful messages and creates lasting results for a life that you desire. The Mind PT neuroscience and positive psychology means that you can listen for just a few minutes every day and achieve results. I had so much fun creating this, and it was interesting when the Mind PT inventor asked me to do this. I was so honored, and she said, "So you can make it on any topic. What do you want to do?" And I said, "Oh, those inner critters." And she said, "Oh, could you hurry up and make it?" She listens to it every day, as do I. It's amazing. So you'll get that link in your download. Because what you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you become. So
True, and true.
if you're feeling poor me, you're going to get more bad things. If you imagine bad things happening to you, they will. So Rhonda Byron, I really love her. It was so much fun. I was in a big event with her. Well, actually, it was a small event at the Magic Palace in Las Vegas. Oh, what a neat place to be able to see all the magicians. You have to be a magician to get in there, a special invitation. But she says the universe does everything it does with zero effort. Now, I want you to pay attention to that. The universe does everything it does with zero effort, and there's a reason. We're going to be talking about it. But first, let's talk about the health benefits of positive thought. It increases your lifespan. It lowers depression. It lowers distress. You have greater resistance to the common cold, better psychological and physical well-being, reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease, better coping skills during hardships and times of stress. All of us go through heartbreak, stressful situations, unexpected things, personal attacks, and how we handle that and come back from that depends on how we think about things and how we adjust. We're going to identify negative thinking, and there's 4 ways. And some of the words I'm going to have Delynn say because I can't pronounce them. I used to have a speech impediment, so she's going to be pronouncing some of the big words for me, okay? I'm just being honest. Okay, so filtering. This is where you magnify all the negative aspects of a situation and you filter out all the positive ones. Hi, honey, how was your day? Horrible, nothing went right. That is a universal blanket statement. Nothing went right. For example, you had a great day at work, you completed all your tasks ahead of time, and you were complimented for doing a speedy and thorough job. That evening, you focus only on your plan to do even more tasks and you forget about the accomplishments you received. I have done that.
Well, you don't do it anymore.
No, I don't. Personalizing. When something bad occurs, you automatically blame yourself. For example, you hear that an evening out with friends is canceled, and you assume the change in plans is because no one wanted to be around you. This was me all the time. I would even be in workshops with Challenge Day. I've been with Challenge Day, gosh, I think for almost 20 years now. And they're my family, my Challenge Day family. And I would sit in the room during breaks and watch people talking, and I would assume they were talking about me and that they didn't love me or want me. And I finally had the courage to stand in the center of the circle of 80 and say, I feel like when you guys are talking to each other, you don't want me, you don't love me, and I don't need to be here. How wrong I was. It had nothing to do with me. We're at a workshop to work on our stuff. They're talking about their stuff and their growth. How many times have you thought, oh my God, that person's talking about me. Oh, that happened because of me. I used to live like this, and let me tell you, it is painful, it is isolating, and it doesn't attract any light. Have you ever personalized?
Oh, yeah. I used to feel that way about even there were a couple family members that I thought that, they thought they were better than me, and I, always felt like I was trying to be as good as them. And then I realized one day that maybe I'm not them, but I am as good as them. So when you stop that competition, again, that's like the little critter in your head.
Yep, exactly. Okay, I'm going to ask you to say this word for me.
No, I'm going to slaughter it. Catastrophizing.
Thank you. This is when you automatically anticipate the worst. The drive-through coffee shop gets your order wrong, and you automatically think the rest of your day will be a disaster. Okay, I used to believe in signs. Okay, I still do. But I look for miracles now. But before, I used to look for signs that things were going to go wrong, that someone was going to hurt me, that I was going to get hurt, I was going to get left out, that things weren't going to go right, that I was going to get fired. I would look for signs and automatically think that my day would be a disaster. And I looked for them. On the way to work, if I saw a car accident, that's it. My boss is going to yell at me today. I'm not going to do well with the clients. We're not going to do well in court. That one's not going to take his meds. Automatically thinking the worst. And guess what? Like Eeyore.
Right on.
It happens. Okay, and the fourth one is polarizing. You see things as either good or bad, black or white. There is no middle ground. You feel that you have to be perfect or you're a total failure. I had a boyfriend years ago who would say, Michelle, you're driving me crazy because you don't understand the gray area. There is no gray, I would reply. You either do it or you don't. And he would say, Michelle, there is a gray area. You don't have to be perfect. But see, I was brought up that if my grades were not perfect, if I wasn't perfect, I would get in trouble. If I got an A minus, I got in trouble. So I was raised to be perfect, which led to my belief that if I wasn't perfect, I was not lovable.
I was raised that same way. And it's hard because you do feel that way. You feel like you're always trying to make sure that you don't fail. And, it's not a healthy way to live, that's for sure.
It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. Because
especially if we know that we can learn from a failure.
Well, one, you can learn from a failure, but also we have something called the human condition. We're here to learn and grow, so we're here to make mistakes. I always tell my clients, if you make a mistake, let the group know. We'll give you a clean slate. That's something you can learn from. But being perfect for me was the perfect grades. I got out of college and I immediately started building 2 companies. I was working around the clock, sleeping 4 hours a night, and I was a newlywed. I was rushing home to make his lunch and dinner. That was in my 20s, and that continued, and it continued. It made it hard for people to love me because I had to be perfect, which meant that everybody else had to do what I needed them to do, and if they didn't do it when I needed it done, oh my goodness, how many people did I push away with that? Lots.
Right.
And then I would go home and go, nobody loves me because I didn't do it right. And they're thinking,
no, that's so true.
Yep, and they're thinking, poor Michelle, why is she trying so hard? We're right here. We're right here. Just relax. And I remember my boyfriend just standing there crying, going, there's a gray area. I'll be completely honest. I was starting a project with him and a business partner, and we were doing a 5-day retreat, and both men, over 6 feet tall, were crying. Like, literally, I made them cry. And they're like, you are not being flexible on this. And I said, no, it has to be perfect. If we're going to help people, the program has to be absolutely perfect. We need the 10-year plan. And I don't agree with this. I would argue over one word because I felt like it would affect my program. And when both of those men were crying and telling me, we love you, we want to work with you, we see your vision, we'll do whatever it takes for you to get your vision. They were using those words, and I was trying to be perfect. So they both said, we can't do this unless you stop. And I went to my room and I cried on my cat, and she was all wet. And I'm like, they don't understand me. They don't understand it has to be perfect. If I do it wrong, people won't get what they need. And I stayed in there forever, and finally my business partner walked in. He was a huge guy. Oh, I miss him so much. He passed away this past year. But he walked in and he said, you ready for me to love you? And I said, yeah. He goes, then you ready to leave room for the gray area? And I said, yeah. And it was hard. And once I started doing that, life changed. So you don't have to be perfect. In fact, people are attracted to your imperfections. There's actually a song about it. I love your imperfections and your sharp edges. You heard that one? Oh
Mm-mm.
my God. I can't remember who sings it. It's a beautiful song, and when it came out a couple years ago, I would just play it over and over. You know, it is that imperfection that makes you you. Okay. I get all excited about this stuff, Delynn.
Me too.
One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day.
That's for sure.
I woke up this morning, I flipped my phone over. It was full of this really horrible messages from my sister, who obviously is having a challenging time and wants to blame people. And I was about to get up, so I laid the phone down. I rolled over to the other side. I started doing my gratitudes, and then I set my positive thought. And I got out of bed feeling a little wounded, but I had my positive thought, and it turned my day around. So I could have gone to, ah! But instead I
Mhm.
went to joy. I don't have a word for that, so I have a sound.
But what a difference that made, right?
Well, absolutely. And using it as an example to show others, hey, this happens. Okay, this is one of my favorite books. My mentor, Ashley Yvonne, gave this to me years ago. And you can choose to like it or not, but we're going to be talking about affirmations now. This is called Heal Your Body. And the book is by Louise Hay, who I just adore. And what she did was she was looking at all the different physical illnesses that go on in our body, including every vertebrae of the spine, and the mental cause for it. Let me give you an example. So, for example, if you're having abdominal cramps, the probable cause is fear stopping the process. So if you use a mantra, I trust the process of life, I'm safe. I trust the process of life, I'm safe. This book was given to me after my big injury when I was hurt. And I would go through it and realize, like, my book is, I think I'm on my 5th copy, and I noticed yesterday, like, it looks so worn. I tell you. Like, I was having, and I know the answers now to almost everything in here. That's how much I read it. But my lower back was hurting again, and I'm like, I'm going to go look up lower back again. And I know what it is. It's fear. It's fear. And my shoulders, it's burden. So I started saying the mantras again, saying the mantras again. So this one I truly love. Affirmations, what they are positive, specific statements that help you overcome self-sabotaging negative thoughts. They help you visualize and believe in what you're affirming to yourself, helping you make positive changes to your life and career. Wellness is the state of my body. Imagine if you said that every day.
Oh, that's good.
Wellness is the natural state of my body. So they're not magic. I don't want you to think that if you just do affirmations, they're magic. If this one, like, you choose your affirmation. I love to write with dry erase markers on mirrors. Choose your mantra, but you've got to do the work behind it. So if this is my mantra, wellness is the state of my body, I'm going to focus on what goes in my mouth. I'm going to focus on getting enough rest. I'm going to focus on my mental thought process. I'm going to focus on my spiritual side so that wellness is the natural state of my body.
That's right.
4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, I'm sorry about the photo being fuzzy. I don't know what happened. Every picture of her and I, this is Louise Hay, of her and I that day came out like this. It's not photoshopped, it's not doctored, and someone told me it's just the light of the spirit coming in. Um, I have been a biggest fan of her forever, and I had the opportunity to actually work with her for, a day, and she called me on stuff. I expected her to be the sweet lady, and she is a sweet lady, but she called me on my stuff and said I was lying, and I was sitting there crying, saying I am not lying, and she kept asking question after question until finally I realized I was lying. I had been carrying the story around for so long that I believed it, and in truth, it was not real. I had
Wow.
been lying to myself. And when I realized that, I started crying. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I had to start testing all my other stories. But I felt so bad, like I had let myself down. And so this was the mantra that I use, and I still use to this day. I forgive everyone in my past for perceived wrongs, and I release them with love. Now, I am a child of extreme abuse and abandonment, and so there are some things that really did happen, and I have gone through the forgiveness process of all of those. But there's also perceived wrongs. I perceived a friend wasn't acting like a best friend, so I went to her and said, thank you for being my friend, but this isn't working, and I'm going to move on. And then it turned out that I had misperceived what had actually happened. And I had to forgive myself for that. So this is a very powerful one.
That's a good statement, because it's encouraging a person that's reading it to forgive themselves, but also when as you read it, it says for the past, so anyone that wronged you in the past, and then releasing them with love. That's a big thing, because a lot of people have a really hard time with forgiving people or circumstances of their past, and you can't move on successfully until you do that. So that's a really good statement.
I actually teach a class on forgiveness because it is absolutely powerful. I told you a little bit about my injury. My boyfriend of 11 years murdered me. He actually bashed my head in and broke my skull and damaged my brain and broke all my ribs, and I bled out almost completely and came back. And
which is a good thing for all of us.
I'll tell the story, but I had a death what do they call them? Death encounter, whatever.
Near death experience, I think they call them.
Yeah, thank you. Near death encounter, which made me change my life. I completely redid. I was living a double life back then. Anyway, all of these tools are things I learned. I became a workshop junkie and did everything until I found what worked for me. So find what works for you. We're going to talk about another great tool, which is mantras. Here's a mantra that I know a lot of people use. I'm open to receiving floods of financial abundance with ease so that I may be able to give back even more to the world. So mantra is a little bit different than an affirmation. A mantra is a sacred utterance, a numerous sound, a syllable, a word, I can't say the phononyms, or group of words in Sanskrit believed by practitioners to have psychological and spiritual powers. It's also a meditation to induce an altered state of consciousness. Now, there are 5 sacred mantras. I'm going to talk about one. Om. The first time I did a meditation workshop using Om, it was also, we were doing the breathwork thing at the same time, so we had like a leader, we're laying down on the floor in the dark, being led with breath and sound. And within 20 minutes, I was in a ball, crying harder than I have ever cried in my entire life. And I cried and I cried and I howled and I cried, and there was 25 of us in the room, and I could hear some other people crying, some other ragers, and some people just oming. And when it was over, I was completely light, and I, at that point, couldn't walk without assistance. I could walk. I'm not joking. I still have some back pain, but it changed everything. It's so powerful. So the translation of Om is the sound of the universe. It's the first original vibration representing the birth, death, and rebirth process. And I swear, it's powerful. Modern adaptation. Chanting the sound Om brings us into harmonic resonance with the universe. This is a scientific fact. Om is said to vibrate naturally at 432 hertz, which is the natural musical pitch of the universe, as opposed to 440 hertz, which is the frequency of most modern music. Decreasing, wow. This is really, really cool. Decreasing your frequency to coincide with that of the universe stills the fluctuations of the mind, allowing you to practice yoga through sound or just meditating with it. It's an idyllic way to begin and end a meditation or yoga, or if you just need to ground yourself. I will do it just sitting in my chair. I will put my feet on the ground. I will connect my first finger and thumb, because that helps connect to spirit. I will close my eyes and do it. I also have meditations that I have that run in the background. This sound is amazing. So if you're interested in mantras, there are 5 different sacred ones. This is just one. This is an introduction to some of the things that we teach, and so we're going through a lot of them, but I'm realizing the time, so I got to get moving here. All right, next one is intentions. Remember I told you to set your intention? Energy flows where your intention goes. Did you set an intention today, Dylan?
I did. I
What was
had,
it?
well, I had the intention that I was going to reorganize some of, I have some documents that we work on and things that we work on, and had them kind of scattered about, and I needed to get them all into one place, and I have not completed it, but before my day is complete, that will be finished.
So she used intention for a project. So you can use intention many different ways, but I used intention for energy and mood today. I told you I woke up with ugly energy on my phone. So my intention was to take that energy and turn it into light-filled energy that would inspire others. That was my
Which I
intention.
believe you have done, because I'm feeling inspired as I listen to this and participate.
And then it was interesting because I wrote to Lynn this morning and I told her what happened, and I said I'm working on changing my energy, and she said, isn't it a good thing the class we're teaching today? And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Okay, let me tell you about intentions. They're powerful, they're positive, and they're purposeful. 3 P's. Powerful, positive, purposeful. They allow you to be mindful. You become conscious in what you choose. You are responsible for your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And I want to pause. You are not your feelings. I'm going to say that again. You are not your feelings. Feelings come and go. Think about it. You're walking through the room, you trip and hit your toe. Now you're mad. Then you see your cat and she's playing with the ball and you're happy. And then you see a commercial that makes you cry and you're sad. Feelings come and go. We are not our feelings, but we are responsible for our thoughts, actions, and feelings. We're also responsible, and I should have written this on here, we're responsible on our effect on others. So, when you go throw up on someone, without asking permission of sacred space or anything like that, and you're responsible for your feelings. So I knew when I saw what I saw this morning that I could go dark and angry and cry and wound. Instead, I went to joy and light and guidance. So you are responsible and you have control. You may not feel like it right now, but you do. Intentions allow you to become present in your life, in your healing, in your relationships, love, family, friends, in your work, in your actions, and your thoughts. All right. Vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates at the most fundamental level. The universe and everything which compromises it is pure, thank you, is pure vibratory energy manifesting itself in different ways. The universe has no solidity as such. Matter is merely energy and the state of vibration. So I'm going to tell you something actually I've never told you guys, and it wasn't because I was hiding it. So I was doing a lot of work with vibration, and I was in a school called mystery school called Dancing with Source. I was studying energy with the archangels and becoming a healer, and it was a long course. In fact, I'm certified. I'm one of the 4 that are actually certified as a master of angelic healing, and I met someone who taught a course out of San Francisco about vibration and connecting to nature and earth. So I went, it was a weekend course, it was held at her house, and she had me sit in the dirt in her garden until I could feel the vibration of the plants. Now,
oh, wow.
I sat there for about 20 minutes and thought, oh my God, okay, I'm doing a California crazy. There is no vibration in the plants. None whatsoever. We did different exercises. By the end of the weekend, I could not only see and feel the vibration of the plants, but everything. Everything. We are on an earth that is vibrating and moving. Well, the planets are moving. There's air moving. Everything vibrates. So why am I telling you this? And, okay, you can call me nuts, but I'm not. Science has proved it. Now, the law of vibration is not as well known as the law of attraction. Has everybody heard about the law of attraction? Yeah. Okay. However, the law of vibration serves as the foundation for the law of attraction. To understand this, it's important to know that everything is energy. Science, through quantum physics, is showing us that our universe is energy. When we go down on a subatomic level, we do not find matter but pure energy. Some call this the unified field or the matrix. Others talk about pure potentiality, all being all energy. The energy work that I learned to do was subatomic. It was clearing your body and your cells down to the subatomic level of your cells and into the area of pure potentiality. It's amazing. But science has actually shown us that everything is energy. So if everything is energy, that changes a lot, right? It's not
Right.
stuck. You're not stuck.
Right. We all have an energy field around us.
Absolutely. When someone walks by you and you're like, I just don't like that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's an energy. You have felt that energy. That may be one of those people who are down in the negative world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to make you smile. I love the vibration of joy. Okay, let's start left-hand corner. Children are so great with expressing themselves freely. We've learned not to cry, not to laugh, not to be mad, not to show emotion, not to hug our brothers and our sisters, oh good Lord. Pure emotion. How about the camel and the girl? Pure emotion. The woman, the couple, the elephant. Everything is energy, and the vibration of joy is so important. There's a happy monkey. Now, if you've never taken a class with me, you'll know that I love, love, love monkeys, and there's always a picture of a monkey, and if at the end of a class I teach where you get to my logo at the end, whether it's Life Coach USA or gluten, dairy, sugar-free, if there's no monkey, I send you a prize. So one of the things that I do, and in that journal, is I, at night, write down my top 3 joy points. Joy points, and I made up the term joy points because I like it. It makes sense to me, are what touches your heart, what makes you feel. It could be something as small as watching someone help an elderly person across the street. It could be that flower in the rock. It could be, I got someone who wrote me a private message on Facebook today that touched my heart in such a way that I had to make sure I was breathing. So the more you notice the joy points, the more you create, which makes it fun when you're doing your journal at night because you have to choose your top 3 and you get to relive it. Guess what you're doing if you're doing this right before bed instead of watching TV? You're reliving the joy points that's now going in your subconscious as you go to sleep. Think how well you're going to sleep and what you're going to manifest while you're sleeping, right?
That's for sure.
Okay, we're going to talk. We're good. We're doing good. All right. Habit of noticing. Most of us don't notice. How many have lost their car in a parking lot? Like me. I constantly do. If I don't park in the same place. Do you?
When I first moved down here, I did, in certain parking lots, I did park in the same place. Then I decided that I didn't have to do that anymore. But for the most part, no.
All right, so I want you to guys let go of whatever you're holding on to, and I want you to clasp your hands so your fingers are intertwined and your thumbs are either crossed or by themselves naturally. Okay, you got them like that?
Yep.
All right, now I want you to open your fingers and slide down one so you're doing it the opposite way. Feels really weird, right? Oh my God, maybe you're queasy. Maybe, oh, I'm going to throw up, this feels so weird. Okay, you can let go. Why did I have you do that? Really simple. The first way you clasp your hand is the way you did the first time you did in utero in your mother's stomach, and the second time you did it, and the third. You started to create what is called a neural pathway in your brain, or a habit. Very simple word, habit, but it's a neural pathway. And people get stuck in habits because that's the way they think. That's how it's supposed to be. Dinner is at 5 o'clock, always 5 o'clock. If Tommy doesn't do this, then, whatever it is. So when you're changing habits, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable, just like the finger switch, because you're actually creating new neural pathways in your brain. So as you start adding some of these different ways of being that we're teaching you today, like I said, this is just an introduction course giving you an overview of what's possible. Habits are uncomfortable in the beginning, but the more you do it, you create a new healthy habit. Look at all those red cars. All right, let's say you are so lucky you've won the lottery, you get to go buy a brand new car and you decide you want to buy a red car. So you buy the red car and you get out on the freeway and you look around and realize that there are red cars everywhere. In fact, you see the exact same car that you just bought almost everywhere, right? You can do it with a purse, you can do it with shoes, all of a sudden everybody's got it.
Right.
Did everybody just go buy a new red car just like you? No, you never noticed it. You weren't paying attention. So now that your focus is on your red car, you're going to see it. What if you take that focus on your goals and changing your life, you're going to start to make the changes that you need that are amazing. So like I said, I'm giving you this journal. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's in this journal. I'm only giving you 70 days. We do
7
this.
days, not 70.
Oh, 7 days, because we do, thank you, we do a 90-day program, a 90-day manifestation program. In the program, every day you'll have a picture and an intention or thought, and then in the morning you're going to write down your 5 gratitudes, your 3 intentions, and a description of how your day you want it to feel. Remember, everything is energy, vibration. I have worked over 20 years to actually find the perfect questions for results, and these actually create the results, but you have to do the work. In the evening, you're going to rate your critters on a scale of 1 to 10. Why? Because you're going to start to learn to manage them. You're going to write down your triggers. Triggers are when someone upsets you, something upsets you, so you can start to notice. You can't make a change until you notice, so that's going to help you with that. You're going to write where you let yourself down. Yep, you let yourself down every day, and it's okay, but you need to acknowledge it. You can't pretend and put it under the carpet because you'll do it again. So I let myself down yesterday because I spent half an hour making up scenarios in my head how I could combat the individual that was being so negative to me, and I was playing all these things in my head, and I remembered, oh, Michelle, that's not what you do. You send love and light. What are you doing? So I let myself down. I acknowledged it. I'm not going to do it again. 3 things you're proud of. You're proud of things. Come on, every day you do something. So you're acknowledging that for yourself and your 3 joy points. Now, we're going to get into, the class is going to be about 5 minutes over, and I apologize, but we really had to fill up the class. We're going to talk about vision and dream boards. These are just some examples. People putting statements, they're putting pictures on them, I'm powerful, they put money on them, the houses, what they want to buy. Some people do things like this, they cut them out of magazines, or they use Google images. This is actually Delenn's board. You want to talk a little bit about what it is and why you did it?
I do. So what a dream or vision board does is it actually, your brain thinks in 2 ways. It thinks in visually and in words. And so if you don't have the picture to go along with that thought process, those words that you have running through your mind, then it's hard for you to visualize and to get what it is that you're asking for. It's important that you look at all the items on your vision board. Now, there's a couple ways you can do a vision board. Some people think that having as many pictures as I have on mine is too much. So if you're one of those people that might be not right for you, what you need to do then is take a picture, you put it at your bedside, and you look at it in the morning when you wake up and at night before you go to bed. So it's at eye level when you're in your bed. And what you're doing is you're creating that intention for while you're sleeping. Mine is in the bathroom, and so I see it, and I see it all the time. And what I do is while I'm getting ready, I visualize one of the things that I need to really focus on. So, like, I love this one picture where it says the right woman for the job. Now, what does that mean? It can mean anything. And I think when I pulled it out, it was an ad for some wine event, because you can see she has a glass of red wine in her hands. Hallelujah. I'm loving that. But what did that mean? Well, I actually created this vision board before I met Michelle. Well, I feel like, you know, that brought us together. And every time I look at that, I think of different things where I am the right woman for that. And it's okay for me to feel like I am the right woman, to be powerfully bold in feeling that way. And so I visualize that. I have Celine Dion up there because I would like to go to her concert, but I actually think the ticket's kind of ridiculously priced. So I don't know, maybe one day that ticket's just going to happen. I don't know. So you put things on your vision board that you want to see happen, not that you necessarily go, oh, yeah, I know that can happen. Like fun. Just want to have fun. I put that on there. I didn't have to visualize that very much because I can create fun. But if I'm not having such a fun day and I look at that, it reminds me, I'm supposed to have fun. I put trust us on there, and I did that because I want to always be a person that someone feels that they can trust. So I want to always be walking that walk.
That's a really good, a really good vision board. I have tons of them because I do them, and then I just put a few items on and have manifest it and do another one. John Asraf from The Secret, he talks about his first vision board, and he actually put the house that he wanted, and he actually got the house. I'm actually going to give you the URL to his vision board kit. It's on the Kindle. It's only like $9. You can also make it on Pinterest.
It's a great kit.
I make mine on a magnetic board with these magnets so that I can switch out the pictures. And in fact, it was funny because I love it so much that I bought all the steel and the boxes and everything to create, and the magnets to actually sell these and create them for my vision board. My 90-day manifestation course, I think I bought like 200 of them. But I never got the chance to put them together, ended up moving, don't have it. But my vision board, here's one of the ones that I did and things that came true for me, is I had a picture of a book that said bestseller, and I had a line of folks around a building for a book signing because I wanted to write a bestseller. I didn't know what I wanted to write. Now at this time I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a coach, and I'm not gluten, dairy, sugar free. Then I have to become gluten, dairy, sugar free. I start my website by accident just because I'm putting recipes up there as a hobby, and I realized like people really need help. So I wrote How to Live This Way and put in 33 recipes, and my book became a bestseller in 4 countries in under 48 hours, right? Then I co-authored a couple books with Deepak Chopra, and they became bestsellers. So all of a sudden, I'm a bestseller. I like images, and I don't like I used to put like $1 million bill on my board, but for me, for some reason, it didn't resonate. So I would put pictures of Chinese coins because they are for luck and prosperity. So not only is it financially, but it's also for other stuff. I always have a picture of healthy food for my health. I have a picture of an empty stage with lights and a microphone because I want to do more speaking. I used to be a motivational speaker, and I stopped for a couple of years, and then I've moved, and it's time for me to get back to that work because I love speaking to an audience and the energy, and I love making them cry and laugh. I usually have a large group of people sitting in a circle, and that's for me to focus on my influence and my service to others. I believe my life purpose is to be, share my influence and to be of service. That is what my purpose is. I also have a circle of women in nature with like a fire pit, and that's for my women's group that I'm part of. I've been part of it for years. It's my support. It's my strength. I have missed the last meeting, and we meet once a year, and it's challenging. So I can look at that, and today I was, and it made me cry.
Oh.
So I sent a message to the group, and I'm like, I'm noticing I'm missing my sisters. And within minutes, full love, and I felt so much better. I also put symbols that connect me to spirit, whatever that is. Sometimes I have Archangel Michael on there. Sometimes I have pictures of just light in the universe. Whatever, but to connect me to spirit. Whatever that is for you, God, Allah, Buddha, Mother Earth, Gaia, spirit. And I always have a picture of the beach because that's my need to travel. Also the ocean's where I ground and I unwind. I spent most of my life growing up on a beach in Mexico and Central America. And for me, the sound of the ocean takes away my worries. So however it works, vision boards are powerful.
Yes,
Um,
they are.
and I know we're 5 minutes over. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. Another powerful tool is meditation. Now, there's this great meditation, world famous in California, right near where I live, like literally 15 minutes from my house, called Spirit Rock. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it, and it's amazing, and they've got great classes. So I decided to do a 3-day no talking meditation. I didn't want to start with a beginning class because I'm so smart that I don't want to start with the beginners because I'm so smart and I hate beginning classes. And this was my mindset at the time. My mindset at the time, too, was I don't want to be in a group class. I need individual attention because I'm just so smart. Anyway, I lasted 3 hours. And I realized that that wasn't for me. So quiet meditation. I've got 2 friends. One is Vinny Ferraro, who is really well now famous for his meditation retreats. He does them in France, and he does. I think his next one's in Italy. Vinny is amazing at doing this. Pam does them also. But anyway, they do the quiet meditations. Doesn't work for me, so I started with guided meditations, and I would fall asleep. So I would put them on and lay down and fall asleep. Well, that didn't work for me. So that's when I discovered brainwave technology. And every day I do not only Overcoming Your Inner Critic, which I created, but I do these Zen 12 meditations. And I'm actually going to give you, as a gift, a free Zen 12 meditation. And you get to choose if you want it guided, white noise, nature, or music. And I usually choose the music. It's another way of releasing stress, of connecting to your inner self, and I do it a little differently. I'm going to be honest. I put it on, and I'm working on my website or I'm writing books. It inspires me to touch my heart. Whew. In conclusion, there are many tools, and I want you to use the ones that resonate with you. I want you to be clear on your purpose and your focus of desire. And when whatever you choose, you practice daily with intention. You're not going to make changes if you don't do the work. It's not magic, but vibration, intention, and clarity for us to achieve it. I'm also, if you download the resource guide, I'm giving you a link to get on the list for the 90-day manifestation program. We'll be running 2 simultaneously. One will be local here in the Las Vegas area with once a month meeting, and the other one will be online with live phone calls and webinars. So check that out. We also suggest these 2 supplements to really help you get in your mind, body, and spirit to make your changes. I'm going to have Delynn tell you a little bit about each one of them.
I will, and I'm not going to speak too long just because we did go over, but look at the soul. What does it say there? It says mood enhancer. And I mean, that pretty much says what we've been talking about is we're putting the intention out of what our mood's going to be like, and here we've got a supplement that's going to help with that. What they are is they're hydration sticks. So they come in a cold pressed powder form. There's 30 sticks in a box. And what's great about them is that they help us with exactly what they say. So we've been talking today about like our intention. So if, let's say you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you can choose to have it be a good day or not such a good day. And maybe through that process, you need a little bit of help and support with that. The mood enhancer is going to help with that for sure. And it's a tropical fruit flavor, so it tastes really yummy as well. And then there's the Smart. And the Smart is a nootropic, which is a brain boost. That's a natural way that the FDA has approved that supplements can boost our brain, giving us clarity, focus, motivation. And in doing that, when you're having the intention of having a successful day or being positive on the road when there's a lot of traffic or whatever it might be, you're going to stay focused, in control, happy through the process, and keep your mind stimulated as well.
Perfect. Thank you. We're going to give you the links to a page that I created where you can find out they're all natural ingredients. They're superfoods. So they add nutrients also. They help you hydrate. Where you can see what all the ingredients are, and we've also created videos on each one, Delynn and I, to talk about them. Today, I did something I haven't done. I know that Delynn does. She mixes them. They're 5 different sticks. These are the 2 we're recommending right now for this program. There's called Stacking, used both because I really needed the mood enhancer. It helps my anxiety. The Smart is my absolute favorite because it keeps me really focused and I get creative. So thank you. So I want you guys to make sure to download. You get your 7-day journey journal, which is a fillable PDF, which means you can type on it. For those of you who like to write on it, you can print it out. 7 healthy meals, because it's mind, body, spirit. And Mindset Resources has your free meditation, the link to the class. It's got all kinds of stuff on it that's going to help you. It's also the link to my Overcoming Your Inner Critters and everything like that. I appreciate you guys coming and listening to us. If you're listening to us on the recording, thank you. If you have any questions, you can reach Delynn Tadaro on Facebook. You can reach me on Facebook. You can send us messages. We're happy to help you, Delynn.
Absolutely.
Thank you for spending the day with me. I'm sorry that we went over, but this was such an important introduction into some of the work that we do that I didn't want to rush it.
I think we did good, and I think everyone's going to be happy that they spent an extra 10 minutes with us.
I love her. All right, on that note, everybody have a fantastic day. Do some thinking. What do you want to create in your life? What do you want your life to feel like? And wouldn't it be nice that when you're faced with challenges that you have the tools to handle them with grace, light, and love? On that, have a great day, and goodbye.
Bye.